Hi, this is Johnny. Today I want to show you the joystick that I bought. It's called the Zero. This is the brand that I bought. 3D control board. It's made for Android and for Xbox and Windows and PlayStation 3. So this one is actually pretty cool. I have to after end of the demo the video gameplay, I will go over some of this different light where you plug it in here for the mode to change it. So right now I have it set to D1 and D3. So by default those two blue light is the correct setting that I have set up. Okay, so this is what I put. This is what I have. So if you guys want to pause and look at it, so what I did is the normal B, X, Y, which is K1, K2, K3, K4, and all the way down to K12. Those are my A, B, X, Y for most of the Raspberry Pi and L1, L2. Now you notice that there's a red one. The red one is if you have a D4 that is red, then all the mapping is changed. So you have D3 plus D4, that mapping will change, where the flipper will no longer be the flipper will become L1 R1 instead of L2 R2. So all the pinball in the blue, this is what it's supposed to be, which is these two blue light, which is the D1, this next one D2, D3. So D1, D3, if it's light up, then this all this right here is set up correctly. And then L3 is the X's out, but L3 is plugged into analog stick. So when you press the button down, it will actually exit out the game. Now the blue setting is actually better than the red setting. The red setting, it change everything, and then your button instead of L2 and R2, you're gonna be L1 and R1, and then those two will not work. So that is a problem when you are drilling a hole for the arcade stick. Okay, so this is the nudging, mean that when you're playing the game, it will move, move the game, because if a ball comes straight to the middle and you know you're not able to hit it, you will nudge the game. And then this one is the plunger, and also when you press it down is to exit out the game. And then you have the two side button, which is the flipper. So let me go ahead and start the game so it make more sense what I'm showing you. Okay, all right. The reason was doing that because I was unplugging, plug it, was create a program. You could use this one for also moving up and down, see? And then this one is A button is to select. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and X out here because I want to resume the game, I want to resume the game, not do that. Okay, so I will launch the ball by holding this backward, launch, which is, and then release, and then play the game. And then here, this is the one where you could make the game.
One more time, I dare you.
See, this is the one where shake the screen. And then here, the Y, you could adjust this button right here to adjust the screen, so you could view the screen different way. So that's one thing cool about if you create your own virtual game. You could play any game you want, and then you could change the direction of the game. Now, Arcade 1UP is coming out with the Marvel arcade game, which is cool.
Oh yeah, this is me
and
singing a song that isn't really a song, because licensing cool songs costs too much money.
This is Deadpool. Deadpool is not part of the arcade one-up pinball game that is coming out with a Marvel. But this one is pretty entertaining because Deadpool, it's a fun pinball because he make a crazy comment and funny remark. So it's pretty entertaining. Alright, so if I want to leave the game, I could either use the main joystick or use the thumb joystick. The reason I like the thumb joystick next to my flipper is my hand is resting over here. So why not have the joystick over here? I was going to put the flipper, the plunger to the bottom like normal plunger where you pull it. I was going to buy a plunger where you pull it. But I was thinking it probably make more sense to have the flipper and then your joystick, your hand is resting over here. Might as well use it as a, the plunger. So you could, and then you can leave the game by pressing A. He's just going to get out of the game because the game is already over.
So long. Don't let the door kick in the... Remember,
then you could, save your game by selecting your name.
Posterior, nether region, buttocks.
So one thing about the pinball is you don't need all the game. You don't need all the button. Only the one that you need. This one is just tape pump. The more I'm using that joystick is creating the. So later when I finish, once I finish making the box, I will only put the button that I need. Now I put this here is because I want to play some arcade game as well. So that's why, as you can see down here, I have a full set of joystick, and then on the sides I have 2 flipper. That's it, 2 flipper on the sides, and then the analog on the left. So I have a left analog and a right analog. So the right analog is in the joystick is counted as the number. This one is number 1. This is number 2. So I have it down here listed. The top one is actually analog 1. That is the one you pull the plunger, and then you once you release it, it will go up, and so that release the ball. And then the second one is the nudge to do left, right, and up will create that movement of your joystick pinball. And the flipper is on those 2, and then L3 is the one you exit out. So if I want to completely exit out the game, I just press this button right here. So it will exit out the game. If I do it again, it will completely kick me out. He say, are you sure you want to get out of the game? You can say yes or no. And I can also use this one here to navigate left and right. So I will say cancel. I don't want to exit out. And so I have I can use this one as well. I have all the game purchased already for all the Marvel. So there is like 23, I think. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 23. So 13 of them is not in the arcade one-up pinball machine. Only 10. So you have, and all the games only cost $1.99. So you could purchase all of them, and it's actually cheaper to do it this way. And then you could play. I'm using an iPad, Samsung, tablet, A as an Apple 7. Okay, it have 3 GB of RAM and 64 GB internal space. So I got plenty of space to do all this. This to me, this is $179, and you could play any game, you could watch any movie, and to me it's better than to buy a TV box, Android TV box. And this is an Android 10, and everything work on the tablet, and you come with a monitor and touchscreen. Where if you buy a GT King, not all the movie will work, especially like the one I demonstrated on the previous video. It doesn't work. So if I was to go into another game,
Champions. Ant-Man.
Avengers, Age of Ultron.
okay, so let's get out this one and let's go to the next one. I also have purchased this, so you could play Back to the Future, Jaws, E.T. and Back to the Future. So let's try one of this. Press A. Ooh. Let's see, why is my A not working? There you go. Huh, for some reason it didn't work at first. Alright, single player. Sorry about the glare on the top of the screen. So I'm gonna press A button to go ahead and start the game. Alright, so I'm going to launch the pinball by pulling back. Oops, first you have to press A to start the game.
If you're gonna shoot the ball, why not do it with some skill? We're descending towards Hill Valley, California at 4:29 p.m. on Wednesday, October 21st, 2015.
2015? You mean we're in the future? I need to borrow your hoverboard. The answer's no, Griff.
Ah!
Great Scott! If you're gonna shoot the ball, why not do it with some skill?
I'm gonna go my thumb.
The answer's no, Griff. The answer's no, Griff.
This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor. In exactly 2 minutes, you go round the corner into the Cafe 80s.
Nobody calls me chicken.
So you want to get out, just press that. Press the button down. And you could actually separate that so that this button would not be part of this launch button. So to do that, this cable will have one cable plugged into L3. So L3 is X's out. So you could unplug that one extra cable that go here and plug in another button, so you could make that as a X's out the game. And that X's out game work on all the tablet, work on Zinc Pinball, and we're gonna press it again. Oh, I click play again. I meant to X's out. So I have Jurassic Park, all three of them.
Jurassic Park Pinball Mayhem. Jurassic Park Pinball. Jurassic World Pinball.
Zinc, I didn't purchase all of them because I'm not sure I like those games, so I didn't purchase those, but the one on top I did. Okay. Zinc is the only one I didn't, and the Star Wars I got all of them. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about 19. So there's only 10 that's out there, so it's missing 9 games from the Star Wars Pinball. So, and then you have Alien. I got all three as well.
Alien isolation.
Is this gonna be a stand-up fight, sir, or another bug hunt?
And then this one I didn't. This one I did, yeah. Doom.
War never changes.
And then the Fox. Fox I only purchased one because I don't really like animation.
Sterling Archer.
Because it's not.
Sterling Archer.
So. But I also purchased those two. I didn't purchase the Walking Dead because I not care about the those kind of game. So I didn't purchase those. Alright, let's just exit out the game completely by pressing B. This is the B button down here. So the button you'll be using the most will be A, B, and then Y is to view viewing angle. And so the other one will not be used. So as you can see here, A will be enter, B is go back, and then Y is the viewing angle, which is this is my Y, and this is my A, B, Y. Okay, and then my left flipper, right flipper is at the bottom, right there in the corner. Left flip, and that's pretty much how you will cable this. Okay, so I'm gonna select that, click OK. You could use this one to control, or you could use that one to control the movement of your joystick, you know, left and right. So either one. You could use this one as a main one as well. So move to the top. So when now this is highlighted, you can move it to here. It's hard to see because my background is light. And let me zoom in, move it up. See, as you could see, there's a rectangle there. You could move it to the right, move it to the left. So let's move it to, sorry, I was pushing this, but I wasn't pushing the movement. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the Pinball Arcade by pressing the A button. Now this one I have purchased both for Android and for Apple. Originally I started with Apple, but then I realized that this one will work with the arcade joystick, like iCat, the older version. But the newer version, the newer version, the Zinc do not work in Apple operating system OS. So you could pick the game. I'm gonna pick my pinball. Now, if you have it vertically, this thing will not shake. So if you're using a TV box and your screen is horizontal, this thing will shake. Okay. I know last time I did a video showing you that GT King, when you playing this game, you go down, you try to select game, this thing shake. Because if you have it sideways like this, and you go down, see, it wobble. I don't know if you can see the wobbling. See, the word is not clear because it's wobbling up and down real fast. Okay, but if you tilt it vertically, you won't have that problem. See, they're not. You can see each of them very clear because it's not moving rapidly fast. You can use this controller. More likely this is the controller that you'll be using for the pinball. So let's go ahead and start Star Wars.
Welcome to the Enterprise.
So same thing, you press the A button to start.
Welcome aboard.
You can press the Y button to change the screen vision. So I'm gonna go ahead and launch the ball.
Emergency evasive. On it, sir.
Captain, they're locking torpedoes.
No, not yet! Not yet!
2x multiplier.
You could use this to shake the pinball. One thing I like about Arcade 1UP is one of the guy, Toy Land, I believe his name, or Fun Toy. He did a video on unboxing, and he was very lucky that they sent him one. And his flipper is real cool. Is when you hit, you can actually feel that by the pinball flipper. You know, where the virtual pinball, more likely you don't feel the physical tension when you hit the the flipper. But the one in Arcade 1UP, you could. So it's pretty cool. It's just the price to me is just close to $600 after tax. It's just a little bit, not a little bit, but it's off my budget. All right, so let's go ahead and plunge it.
2x multiplier. 3x multiplier.
So if you have a clicking flipper, it's still, you could feel like you are hitting the gameplay is funner than you playing with the just touch screen. And then the flipper and then my plunger actually worked, not just a push button. Now I did buy a push button plunger, but that button is too big. It's 2 inches wide. It's about this big compared to my button. And I did a video about how to wire it so the LED light will work, and so you have different option of either push plunger or push and release plunger. So I showed that in the video as well. So you hold back and let go.
The drop zone. You have one shot to land on that platform. Remember, the Enterprise won't be able to beam you back until you turn off that drill. Away team is split.
20,000 meters.
Descent vector adjusted.
Now the monster attack would be coming from Pinball Arcade. So that is from this pinball. So the exercise, I'm gonna press B.
Now.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
Alright, so you press this button. This one is a little bit awkward how to get out, because I have to press B and press that button as well to exit out of the game. Because even with touchscreen, if you try to exit out, it doesn't exit out right away. It starts from the beginning of the game. Then you have to press the button to get exit out. So this one is a little bit tricky, but I did manage to exit out using just my joystick. Okay, so yes, the other game, like Haunted House, is over here, and you could go by playing. You could look at the alphabet order, and I just look at the one I purchased. One thing good about Pinball Arcade, you could play any game that you haven't purchased for like I guess like I forgot how many seconds they allow you to play it. Like first pinball, if you die, or the 1 minute let you play it. So that's one thing cool about Arcade Pinball. Even like those games, I haven't purchased those, but I could try those. So for example, if I want to try the black hole, I could press it. Okay, he said, well, I tell you, if you was to buy it, it's going to be $4.99, or you want to play the try period. So I'm going to use this one and choose play the try version. And then it's download very fast. And there you go, you can play it. And it only allows you to play for, certain amount of time, but then it will kick you out and ask you to purchase it if you want to continue. So launch the ball, see the plunger going back. So reverse direct. Lost the ball. So those are the game. So let me get out of the game again. So what I was trying to say is that when you try to exit out a game, you pause the game using the touchscreen. And even if you exit out the game, say yes, it repeat back until you do it second time. But with a joystick, you just press B and you're out of the game. So for this game, B is going backwards, so easier to get out of the game. But at the same time, you still cannot completely exit out the game on this this game system. I don't know why I cannot exit out. So I'm just going. Yeah, you cannot exit out the game. I don't know why. I don't know if I have to log out. I'm pressing select and start at the same time, see if I could exit out again. So I'm just gonna use old-fashioned way to get out, touchscreen. Okay, so that game is a little bit difficult to exit out even with a joystick, and so even with a touchscreen, I don't know how to exit out directly using that program. I have to use the program to exit out. Now, the William Pinball also work, and Zinc Pinball also work, and so all the one up here work with the joystick. The only one did not work is the one down here. So let me zoom this in closer so you can see which game that actually work. And so if you have a virtual pinball, those are the ones that will work. The Zinc Pinball, the Pinball Arcade, the William Pinball, Zakaria Pinball, and then that one is pretty much the same as this family. That one worked. And then Pin Out, it lets you play for a few minutes, but the game requires you to purchase it. So it's not a free play. And then here are the ones that do not work with any joystick. It's a touchscreen game, and you can install it, but it do not work with the joystick. It's made to do touchscreen, so you cannot use the pinball. For example, like this one, Pinball HD. That's the one I use for the Apple launcher. For iPad, they have an iPad launcher, and that game, it worked with the iPad launcher, pinball launcher, called Dual. There you go. It's called the Dual Pinball, and this game will not work with the joystick. It only works with the touchscreen. So all this work just on touchscreen. All right. So let's look at the physical hardware. So let me zoom back out, and I will show you what it looked like to change the mode. Now, let me unplug this. Ooh, I hope I didn't bend the pen. Gotta set it kind of against it. All right. So when you, I'm going to plug this. I'm going to keep it plugged in to the pinball, so the light will light up. But I want to show you why. If you get this pinball machine, you get this blue light. See, 2 blue light right there. Now, if you get a blue and red, then your setup will be completely different. So you will have to use a different configuration. So this is the old one I bought, and for some reason it won't change back. It doesn't matter. If this one, see, stay as blue and red. This one is hard to see with the light shining so straight. This one have blue and red. Okay, see it? There's one blue and one red. Okay, and those joystick, by you plug in this setup, which is the, if you plug into up here, which is the mode, home mode, it doesn't change. Okay, so You look back here, the top right here is the home. This one is, to me, I think it's defective because it doesn't change back. Okay, where if you was to do it on the one I just got a replacement, you plug it in, okay, and here's my mode set. I could press it and go from blue to red, see? So when I press it, it changed to blue, both of them blue, and that's what you want. The blue and red, the flipper changed to L1, L2 instead. I mean L1 and R1 instead of L2, R2, and I wanted to L2, R2. Okay, so if you get the blue and red, if you get the blue, one red. If you get one blue, one red, then your setup, your number 3, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 4, D3 and D4. If D3 is blue and D4 is red, which is blue and red, then you will be using this kind of setup. Your flipper, those two will be flop. Okay, but if you have blue like this, D1, D3, blue LED, then you're going to use all the blue setup down here that I have. So you guys could pause this if you want to look at it. So I have a so those are the joystick setup. Okay, and they actually label K1 all the way down to K12. So if you was to look behind it, you got K1. You got K1 all the way to K12. Okay, so those are your button. You don't really use any of this, only the mode. But the mode doesn't really work. But if you, some reason, if it changed to red and blue, then you're in trouble. You might want to go ahead and get a replacement. So that's what I'm doing. We're doing a replacement because then your exit out button would not work if it's a blue and red. So I don't know how to exit out any of the game if that setup is gone. So if you have a blue and red, everything else is the same, but the exit out doesn't work. So then I don't know how to exit out the game if this is red and blue. So if you get a joystick, that I'm going to give you the link, and if you want to get one that is red and you can't change it back to blue, then you need to replace it. Okay, I mean that joystick have, if you push the mode change, it doesn't change back, then yeah, that system is defective. Okay, so hopefully this helped, and this is the joystick I'm using. I'm gonna build, and this is a 3D printout box, but I will be creating using the wood. I'll be cutting out the wood, cutting out the shape, the size of the tablet, and the only button I'm gonna have will be the button that I show you out here. I will probably removing this button plus all the 6 buttons here. Only be using 2 buttons, which is the enter button, the back button, and the L3, the exit out button, and the view angle button. And then the 2 will be on the side, the flipper left and flipper right. Okay, and then that's about it. And then I don't need the main joystick, which is right here, is plugged in. I don't need that one, which is this one. I don't need that one. I'll use that one to toggle around the screen. And then this is the launcher. So I was going to add a plunger by attaching the plunger to this, and then use it as a pool pinball game. So I'll have that realistic feel when I pull the pinball. I haven't decided yet that I'm going to do that. I'm thinking about I'm not going to do that. So let me change this back to blue because I wanted it to stay in blue. Alright, so I'm going to unplug this. And let you show you the size of the pinball. So I only have 1 button right there for the flipper. So when I'm holding the pinball like this, playing like this, my thumb is right there. So it's a good place to put the plunger but just continue keep on playing without having to come back here and pull. I could add that to here to make it to where I could pull, but to me this is okay just having it like that. And now I will put the start and stop button in the front, and then the 3 button here to the side, so where it will be back, enter, and viewing angle, changing the viewing angle. So maybe I could put the viewing angle to the sides as well, but I'm not sure. I think 1 button to the sides is good enough. And then that would be the one where you want to move the pinball nudge. They call it nudge. You want to move the pinball left and right to shake the pinball. So it's a good spot to right here. Instead of moving your hand like away from it and pushing the launcher, you could actually playing it and move the launcher like that while you're playing it, and then launch the pinball, launch, release, and the pinball launch. So I like the way this is set up where I'm not pulling it, I'm just pulling it using the thumb, 1 finger, and releasing it. So that's how I'm going to set up my pinball. And once I created the correct joystick box, I'll be laying my tablet right on top, okay, and then play the pinball with a little bit tilt, and then I will have the flipper on the side, and then the plunger right here on the right, and the notcher on the left. All right, stay tuned for that. And that's pretty much I have for you. And like I said, you wanted to look at this, so this is how I lay it out. This is how the Raspberry Pi is laid out, but this is actually K1, K2, K3. Okay. All right, thank you for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys to get the pinball. If you guys want to build your own, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to build my own pinball so I could enjoy my virtual pinball game that I purchased from Android, from Google Play Store. So that way I could play all my pinball with have that realistic feeling of the game. Okay. So like this one, this is a game I think it's from another pinball company that is coming out. So that game will work with the pinball joystick as well. And I also have purchased it, and the game does work. So I went and purchased all this for this pinball game right here. Okay. They have different version of game that you could buy. This one I haven't paid. This is the remake version. This is the deluxe version. This is the retro version and a reward version. So they have a lot of games. And this is the one I purchased, I believe. Yeah. Alright. Talk to you later.